So the polls have now closed in the hotly contested presidential election in the United States. And early data is projecting a second term for Republican Donald Trump as ballot counting continues. But let's discuss this and why we shouldn't be too quick to judge it at this stage. The chief executive of the South African Institute of International Affairs, Elizabeth Sidiropoulos, joins us now. Elizabeth, good morning, and thank you for joining us. So people around the world will be watching the tally start to be made, and then you'll have the projections about who's in the lead at this stage. The winning candidate needs to surpass the 270 electoral college votes to emerge victorious. Right now, well, anyway, last I checked, Harris was at 214, Trump at 248. But I want you to explain to our viewers first how the electoral college works and why this election is won not on the popular vote or the pure votes cast, but on that proportional system.
Yes, no, great to be with you, Man. So the US is a federal state, and states have the power to, in the first instance, also determine the electoral rules in each state. And I think that's important. It's very different from the way in which our own system works, and certainly in the fact that we have an independent electoral commission that sort of sets out the rules for the entire country. So it's a federal state, and states have a significant amount of power in that regard. And the way in which the president is elected is through an electoral college. And each state then, depending on the outcome of the election in each state, nominates X number of electors to sit in the electoral college, which meets at the beginning of the year in January. We all know January 6th and what happened there in 2020. That was the electoral college that was meeting to elect the president. The electoral, so each state has a set number of electors depending on its population. It also tends to be a little weighted, I think, more in sort of in terms of population to smaller rural areas. So yes, California is of course the largest state with the largest number of electoral college seats, but then smaller states that may have smaller populations, it's not entirely proportional. So what is important is to look at each state and what the result of the popular vote is in each state.
Yeah.
And what we have then is that, you need to get to 270 to actually, 270 electors to actually win. So there have been often cases, and we saw that even with Hillary Clinton in 2016, where Hillary Clinton won the popular vote across the country, but wasn't able to win the sufficient states to get to 270.
Yeah.
Last time in 2020, President Biden was able to win both the popular vote and the electoral college, but the two don't always work in tandem. It will be interesting to see what happens this year. Certainly watching some of the channels. I think CNN just called, literally a few minutes ago, called Pennsylvania for Trump. Again, this is a projection. If Pennsylvania goes to Trump, irrespective of what Kamala Harris is able to do in all the other four battleground states, because the other two have already been called, it's probably unlikely she will get to 270.
Yeah.
And that's the way, that's the way the pieces fall.
And just for our viewers who don't know, the 6th January, this was in 2021, there was that attack on the Capitol by a mob of supporters of then-President Donald Trump. And of course, that remains a blight on the American political calendar. Elizabeth's talking to us about Hillary Clinton in that 2016 moment, but there was also a 2000 moment when the winner of the popular vote was Democrat Al Gore. He won by 500,000 votes, and that was approximately 48.4% of the vote compared to his then Republican counterpart, George W. Bush. He was at around 47.9% of that vote, and Bush winning the presidency after winning the Electoral College by 271 to 266.